Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to JKJ Culture. And today we're going to have a little bit of a different video than what I normally do. And that is we are going to be discussing a music album. Yes, we are going to be reviewing a music album. Now, this isn't going to be a full-fledged review of every single song. It's just going to be some of the high notes. And I figured, what better band to first do this first ever JKJ Culture review than one of my favorite bands of all time, Shinedown. So, without rambling on too much, we're going to get right into it, folks. And for starters, I gotta say that this album right here, Shinedown's 8th album, called Shinedown 8, was just almost, a no-skip album. It was one song away from being a no-skip album. There's only one song on this entire album I'm skipping, and we will get to that later. But let's highlight some of the songs that I enjoyed the most on this album. First, let's talk about Burning at the Disco. I find it very appropriate for myself that I first heard this song, obviously being a wrestling fan, being used for one of the theme songs for WrestleMania 42 this year. And I find that appropriate because 20 years ago, in 2006, I discovered Shinedown for the very first time when I heard I Dare You, which was being used as one of the theme songs for WrestleMania 22. So I just find that very appropriate for myself that the first Shinedown song I ever heard was being used for WrestleMania 22 20 years ago. And 20 years later, WWE once again using Shinedown for one of their theme songs at WrestleMania. This year being WrestleMania 42. Then it was I Dare You. This year it was Burning at the Disco. But overall, it is a great song, and as a wrestling fan, it was a perfect song choice to kind of fit that vibe of just pro wrestling, in my opinion. And now moving forward to another song on the album that we'll talk about is Young Again. Ladies and gentlemen, that is right there the perfect, summer anthem, especially if, you're someone in high school or college. I'm mostly talking to the juniors and seniors in both high school and college out there. You listen to that during the summer, whether it's you just completed junior year and it's the summer going into your senior year and you kind of listen to that song and you reminisce, or same thing, as a senior, you just graduated high school and you're either going to the workforce or you're going to college to continue education, whatever you're doing. After high school, you're just kind of sitting around the bonfire. It just gives that type of vibe. One last memory with your buddies. And same thing later on, if you're one of those people who do continue your education. Juniors and seniors, same thing. Kind of just gives you that vibe of reminiscing of a time when you were younger and things you got to do, memories you made. And is both a joyful song in that sense, but also it can be a little bit of a sad song, but we appreciate Young Again. And then, speaking of sad, 365. Oh boy, that one is a tearjerker, especially if you can unfortunately relate to the lyrics of the song. Then, oh boy, brother, especially hearing it live as I have gotten to do. I've only seen Shinedown twice, but the last time I did get to see them, they did sing 365. And brother, you could just feel it in the arena. If you ever been to a Shinedown concert and you've gotten to listen to them sing 365, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And then the last song we'll talk about as far as the positives go is Killing Fields. I'll just go ahead and give a little spoiler for later on in the video because, yes, I will be showing my rankings of how I'm ranking the whole album, but Killing Fields is number one. It was hard to pick a number one, but I think I have to give it to Killing Fields. Is my favorite song on the Shinedown 8 album. Like I was saying earlier with Burning at Disco, just has that perfect feel for pro wrestling, like a hype video package or a highlight reel for the night. Killing Fields gives me that same energy, but even more so, but also has that calm, cool feeling of it as well throughout the track. Just overall, like I said, it was very hard to pick a best song on Shinedown 8, a favorite song on Shinedown 8, but if I had to give it to any of them, it is going to be Killing Fields. Now, on to the one song that I will be skipping on this album, the one song that made Shinedown 8 a no-skip album. What was that song? Joey Knight Jr., what possible song on Shinedown 8 made you say, yep, nope, this album is no longer a no skip album? Well, that one song is none other than Dizzy. Yes, that is the one song on the Shinedown 8 album that I will not be re-listening to. That is the one I'm skipping on this album. And listen, Dizzy is not even a bad song. Dizzy is a good song. It's just one little nitpicky thing on my end that I know doesn't bother and wouldn't bother most of the people listening to the album. But what makes Dizzy a skip song for me on the Shinedown 8 album is that Brent does let out a GD on the song, which that's just something that, just me personally, that's just something that, okay, once I hear that in a song, I just skip it and I don't ever come back to it. Now, if I do ever see a clean version or hear a clean version of it where that is removed, then I will add that to the playlist and listen to that version of the song. But yes, Dizzy is the one song that I will be skipping on the album. Dizzy is the song that prevented Shinedown 8 from being a no-skip album, unfortunately. But overall, this is an amazing album by Shinedown. We have waited quite a few years for another Shinedown album ever since Planet Zero, and they did not disappoint, in my opinion, with this album. If I had to give it a overall grade, I'd be hard-pressed, ladies and gentlemen, to say that this is like a... Obviously, it's not a perfect 10 out of 10, because like I said, there is that one song that I'm skipping. But it'd be hard-pressed not to give it like an 8.5 or 9 out of 10. Like, every song on this album just hits in some different type of way, whether it's the sad or the energy pumping or just the cool vibes that you just kind of mellow out to. The Shinedown 8 album has a little bit of everything for what you're wanting as a Shinedown fan, where you're just the person that just wants the hard rock music that you can headbang to and drive down the highway at 150 miles per hour, or if you want the soothing stuff that you just vibe to, or if you want the emotional stuff that, you know, kind of gets you in your feels a little bit. There's a little bit of all of that on the Shinedown 8 album. So, with that being said, I've talked long enough, but let me show you now where I rank the songs on Shinedown 8. There are 18 songs on this album, so let's see them from number 18 to number 1, ladies and gentlemen. All right, viewers at home, y'all can go ahead and pause the video if y'all need to. Now, unfortunately, I am still new to the editing process, so I was trying to figure out how to where I can get that entire picture shown on screen at once. Couldn't figure it out, but as y'all know, I already did say Dizzy is number 18. It is last place because it is the one song I did skip on this album. But if y'all are able to pause it and see the rest of the countdown from 17 to 1, that is my Shinedown 8 album ranked. And that is my discussion on Shinedown 8. What did you think about Shinedown's latest album? Let me know in the comments below. I appreciate y'all for joining me on kind of this new type of video that I'm doing. Let me know if y'all want me to do more of these type of videos in the comments below. Please remember to leave a like, share the video, but most importantly of all, subscribe to JKJ Culture. I have been Joey Knight Jr., and I will see y'all in the next one. Peace.